Hi Jane, this is one of those tricky ones where you have to be careful to look for the years and also where the other shaded information is. So for example here we've got the years underneath and we've got an explanation of the key or the shading up above. So be really careful whether the years are below or up for the shading. That will help you to interpret these questions. So first of all, work out the total earnings for Company B. Right, Company B, where does it say Company B? Look for that first. Here we go. It explains that it's anything that is shaded in the middle shade of grey. So we're looking for the middle columns in each of these. So the total earnings would be this number here, and that one there, and that one there, and that one there, and the middle one there, and added up all together gives you 315,104, which is that one there. Question 2 is one of those questions where I remember you saying, how on earth am I going to work that all out in 1 minute? Well, let's have a little look. Which company had the greatest earnings between 2010 and 2014? Now already you know the answer for what the earnings are for Company B. We've just worked that out. So Company B have got 315,104. Now here you're faced with two choices. You can work out the total earnings for Company A and you can work out the total earnings for Company C. Before we do, just have a look at the bars to begin with. Okay, Company B we already know. In 2010, Company B were kind of in the middle of the earnings. They were only just behind Company C, so they were doing pretty well. For 2011, they were way ahead in the lead, up here. For 2012, they were way ahead in the lead, up there. For 2013, they were way ahead in the lead up there. And on 2014, they were only just below Company A. So it looks like that might be the highest total. If you're pushed for time, you might want to just compare the bars and see which one seems to be the most popular company. If you do have time, actually add them up. So Company A, you would have had a total of 227,883. And for Company C, you would have had a total of 238,791. So overall, Company B did have the greatest earnings altogether. Okay, question 3. Now this is an interesting one because there's actually a mistake on it and it doesn't make sense. It says work out the difference between the total earnings for Company B in 2010 compared to Company C in 2010. Well, if you just go for the figures in 2010, you'd have these two, Company B and Company C. And the difference between those two, remember you have to take the smallest one away from the biggest one. If you do 42,000, take away 37,000, that will give you 5,000. So 5,000 is not a feasible answer. Now 5,000 is not one of the answers, so that means the question must be wrong. I've read it and read it again and I'm still convinced that there must be something wrong. I think the problem is it shouldn't say 2010. It should just say what's the difference between the total earnings for Company B and Company C. So if we look back at the answers from the question before, the total earnings for Company B were 315,104 and the total earnings for Company C were 238,791. Now if you do a takeaway sum, remember it's always the biggest take away the smallest, the difference will be 76,313, which is this answer here. So in this question, they've actually worded it incorrectly. It's not possible to get the answer 5,000, which should be the correct answer to it. So sorry about that, but it's a bit of a dodgy one, that one.